In the quiet of the living room, Jiles, 16, sits alone, the silence punctuated by the rhythmic ticking of clocks. The house is still, heavy with the weight of time. Each tick of the clock marks a moment passing. Jiles sits, lost in his thoughts. The clocks continue to tick, indifferent to the silent drama unfolding within the room. Jiles enters the spare room, dust motes dancing in the sunlight. An old wooden clock sits on a shelf, its presence strangely unsettling. The clock's dark wood contrasts sharply with the bright daylight streaming through the window. Jiles pauses, his gaze fixed on the clock, a sense of unease washing over him. The clock seems to watch him back, its silent ticking filling the room with unspoken tension. In the spare room, time becomes a tormentor as Jiles obsessively watches the clock's erratic dance. The second hand jumps, a frenzied skip forward, then drags with agonizing slowness. Each tick echoes in the silence, amplifying the tension in the room. The clock's unsteady rhythm mirrors the turmoil brewing within Jiles. In a desolate room, a clock hangs askew, its face a chaotic display of random times. The clock's hands whirl erratically, mocking the passage of time. The distorted clock dominates the scene, a symbol of fractured reality. A disembodied voice echoes through the room, challenging the absurdity. That's not how clocks work. The spinning hands continue their mad dance, indifferent to the logic of time. Jiles sprawls on the couch, lost in the glow of his phone, his posture reflecting a deep-seated boredom. Each swipe and tap is a futile attempt to escape the restlessness that gnaws at him. The living room is still, save for the faint hum of the device and Giles's occasional sigh. His eyes dart across the screen, searching for something to break the monotony. A sense of ennui hangs heavy in the air, mirroring Giles's own listless spirit. Jiles stares intently at the wall clock, its ticking a stark reminder of time's relentless passage in the otherwise silent room. The clock's hands seem to mock him, each second stretching into an eternity, amplifying the weight of anticipation. An hour has passed, yet in Giles' perception, it feels like mere minutes, a distortion of time fueled by nervous energy. His eyes dart back to the clock, seeking reassurance, but finding only the cold, indifferent face of time slipping away. Each tick echoes louder, amplifying the feeling that time is both fleeting and unbearably slow, a paradox of dread. The contrast between objective time and subjective experience heightens, reflecting the internal turmoil brewing within Jiles. In the spare room, an old clock ticks, each second echoing in the silence. Giles's focused gaze lingers on the clock's face, a sense of unease settling in. The second hand makes a jump, skipping across the hour. A sudden, jarring movement catches Giles's attention. Time warps, a distortion that cannot be ignored. Something is not right with the old clock. A quiet moment lingers, heavy with unspoken thoughts. In a place undefined and adrift in the ether, the scene is an empty canvas, waiting for memories to paint themselves across the void. A voice echoes through the emptiness, a ghost from the past. As if that time hadn't counted, Giles' voice reverberates, questioning the nature of what was and what is. Inside the bright kitchen, tension crackles. Giles stands, his face flushed with rising anger. His posture is tense, ready for confrontation. He confronts his mother, voice sharp with frustration. The air thickens with unspoken resentments. Every word hangs heavy, a painful echo. In the spare room, the clock's relentless second hand sweeps forward, each tick a vanishing minute. Time, an unseen thief, steals away moments in the quiet solitude of the room. The air hangs heavy with the unsaid, each second amplifying the silence. A sense of urgency pervades as the clock's ticking echoes in the stillness. The room holds its breath, a silent witness to the passage of time. Minutes slip away like grains of sand, each one irreplaceable in the quiet room. Giles's bedroom is dimly lit, shadows dancing on the walls as he relives the sting of harsh words. He paces, each step measured with a frustration that simmers beneath his skin. The argument replays in his mind, a tormenting loop of accusations and unspoken resentments. Agitation claws at him, a tempest brewing behind his eyes. He runs a hand through his hair, his face a mask of turmoil and regret. Inside the spare room, an eerie silence reigns, the clock's hands frozen, trapping the room in an eternal, unchanging moment. Time ceases to exist. The room becomes a vacuum where seconds stretch into eons, an endless, still moment. The air hangs heavy, thick with the weight of paused existence, creating a palpable sense of timelessness. Nothing moves. Stillness settles over the room, a stark tableau of suspended animation. Night drapes over the porch, casting long shadows as Jiles and his grandfather settle into a peaceful quiet. A gentle breeze rustles the leaves, carrying whispers of stories waiting to be told. Jiles leans in, eyes wide with anticipation, ready to embark on a journey through his grandfather's tales. The old man's weathered hands gesture as he speaks, painting vivid pictures with his words. Each word hangs in the air, weaving a tapestry of memories and adventures. The porch becomes a vessel, carrying them away on a sea of stories under the watchful eyes of the stars. Sunlight warms the wooden porch, time elapsing slowly. Inside, the second hand of a clock crawls, marking each moment with agonizing slowness. The stillness of the porch contrasts with the relentless tick of time. Each tick echoes, amplifying the silence and anticipation. Under the bright day, a broken fence divides properties. Jiles, unsolicited, begins to repair the fence, hammer in hand. He works steadily, not pausing to ask, only driven by his intent. The sound of hammer against wood rings through the neighbor's yard. Jiles' brow furrows with concentration as he pounds a nail. Sunlight drenches the neighbor's yard in a seemingly endless afternoon. The minute hand of the clock barely moves, each tick an echo in the stillness, a palpable sense of time stretching, distorting. Under the weight of unspoken anticipation, the air hangs heavy, charged with an invisible tension that permeates the scene. Everything is ordinary, yet laced with an undercurrent of surreal stretched time. Dust motes swirl in the dim light as Jiles sits tensely on the sofa, his hands clasped tight, a storm brewing within. Across from Jiles, a figure shrouded in shadows watches with concern etched across their face. Jiles breaks the silence, his voice heavy with guilt. "I have to tell you something, and it's not easy." The friend leans forward, their shadowed face a mask of worry. "What is it? You can tell me anything," Jiles confesses, his voice cracking with remorse. "I betrayed your trust. I'm so sorry." The living room breathes with an unspoken history. Time stretches, each moment a canvas of untold stories. An atmosphere of quiet anticipation fills the room. A palpable sense of waiting hangs heavy in the air. In the spare room, Giles's intense gaze is fixed on the clock. Its ticking amplified in the quiet. A realization dawns on his face. The clock isn't broken, but deliberately measuring time. His eyes narrow, a silent understanding passing between him and the enigmatic timepiece. The room holds its breath, the ordinary object transformed into a symbol of choice. Jiles contemplates, the weight of each passing second pressing heavily upon him. An infinite space, silent and vast, is punctuated only by a solitary clock, suspended in the void. The clock hands tick with deliberate precision, marking time in the emptiness. The clock stands untouched by any external force. Giles's disembodied voice echoes, "The clock wasn't broken. It was choosing." In the bright kitchen, Jiles rushes through chores, his movements betraying a deep impatience and boredom. He cuts corners, his sighs echoing in the otherwise quiet space, a clear display of his disdain. Each action is performed with a careless haste, further emphasizing his lack of interest. His face reflects a mix of annoyance and a longing to be anywhere but here, doing anything else. In the spare room, an old wall clock ticks with unnatural speed. The second hand sweeps wildly, blurring as it jumps forward. Minutes vanish in seconds, the clock defying the natural flow of time. Each tick echoes loudly, a stark reminder of time slipping away. The room seems to warp around the accelerated clock, distorting reality. The relentless ticking creates a sense of urgency and impending doom. Jiles sits on the edge of his bed, a solitary figure in the dim light. Shadows dance on the walls, mirroring the turmoil within him. He resists the urge to distract himself, choosing instead to confront the silence. A heavy weight settles in his chest, a tangible form of his sadness. He embraces the unwelcome companion, allowing the sadness to simply be. The air hangs still, heavy with unspoken anticipation. Each breath feels drawn out, a moment stretched into an eternity. The world fades, sounds becoming distant echoes. Reality warps, bending to the weight of the present. Time itself seems to pause, suspended in the spare room. In the living room, Jiles is engrossed in a video on his phone, a subtle smile playing on his lips as anticipation builds. Suddenly, a burst of genuine laughter erupts from Jiles, his eyes crinkling at the corners as he enjoys the humorous content. The sound of his laughter fills the room, light and uninhibited, reflecting a moment of pure, simple joy. He pauses the video, a lingering smile on his face, the echoes of his mirth still hanging in the air. In the spare room, an eerie stillness hangs in the air. The second hand of the wall clock seems to pause, suspended in anticipation. Each tick echoes loudly, marking the passage of time with deliberate slowness. The room holds its breath, as if awaiting a significant, unseen event. Time itself seems to hesitate, savoring the moment before the next beat. In the stark spare room, Jiles halts, his figure framed against the shadows. He stands before the clock, its ticking a stark reminder in the silence. Dust motes dance in the dim light, illuminating his focused gaze. The clock looms, its hands a silent countdown in the still night, his silhouette a stark contrast against the pale light. The air hangs heavy, anticipation building in the confined space. Tension hangs heavy in the air. Stark light etches the room with sharp shadows, revealing nothing but raw anxiety. Giles' brow glistens with sweat, a silent testament to the unseen pressure he faces. His gaze is fixed, intense, boring into the void where his adversary lurks. The air crackles with unspoken threats, each breath held, each heartbeat amplified. His voice cuts through the silence, a raw, desperate plea. "What do you want?" Dust motes float in the stagnant air of the spare room, illuminated by a single shaft of light. The second hand on the wall clock seems to crawl, each tick an echo in the stillness. Shadows lengthen, twisting familiar shapes into eerie silhouettes. The air hangs heavy, thick with unspoken memories and forgotten dreams. Silence presses in, amplifying the subtle creaks and groans of the old house. Time itself seems to bend and warp, caught in the room's strange stasis. Jiles lies awake, lost in the vast darkness of his room. The moon, a silent witness to his restless night. The faint moonlight paints shadows across the ceiling as Jiles stares into the abyss, his eyes wide with unease. He tosses, a futile attempt to outrun the thoughts that relentlessly chase him in the still of the night. Each turn is a silent scream against the worries that tighten their grip on his weary mind. His mind races, a whirlwind of unanswered questions and unspoken fears swirling in the quiet bedroom. The weight of his thoughts presses down, a heavy blanket stifling any hope of peace or escape. In the spare room, a clock hangs silently on the wall, its stillness a stark contrast to the world outside. The hands of the clock are frozen, locked in a perpetual standstill. Time itself seems to have abandoned this place, leaving it suspended in an eternal moment. The unchanging clock becomes a haunting symbol of stagnation and lost moments. The room holds its breath, waiting for a time that may never come. As the clock remains stubbornly still, soft light fills the unknown room, dust motes suspended in the air like tiny stars. Time standing still, an antique clock ticks, its rhythm the only sound in the silent space. Each tick an echo of forgotten moments. The diffused light reveals nothing, yet suggests everything. A world holding its breath. A sense of anticipation hangs heavy, as if the very air is waiting for something to happen. Jiles, VO. Time, it seemed, was waiting. A voice whispers, breaking the stillness with a haunting resonance. In the desolate spare room, Jiles sits motionless, his back pressed against the cold wall. Silence fills the room, broken only by the sound of his shallow breaths. His eyes are unfocused, lost in a world of his own making. Dust motes dance in the faint light, illuminating the emptiness around him. A sense of profound isolation hangs heavy in the air. He remains still, a statue carved from sorrow and despair. Stillness hangs heavy in the spare room, dust motes dancing in the faint light. A clock's second hand remains frozen, a silent testament to halted time. The second hand ticks almost imperceptibly. Time resumes its relentless march forward, each tick echoing in the expectant silence. Sunlight floods the classroom, illuminating scattered books and unfinished projects. A palpable sense of youthful energy fills the air. Jiles sits among his groupmates. A copy of Moby Dick lies near a half-eaten bag of chips. His expression is thoughtful, a spark of curiosity flickering in his eyes as he observes the lively scene around him. A visible, internal conflict plays across Giles's face. He hesitates, torn between the allure of easy distraction and the difficult path of honesty. The weight of responsibility settles upon his young shoulders. Sunlight floods the classroom, but Giles's reluctance is a palpable shadow, darkening his features and weighing down his posture. Dust motes dance in the sunlit air, an irritating distraction to his fixed gaze on the textbook before him. His fingers drum a restless rhythm against the desk, betraying his internal struggle to take the easy path. The worn wood of the desk feels cold beneath his touch as he delays the inevitable moment, his will wavering. Inside the classroom, quiet anticipation hangs in the air. as unseen eyes watch the clock. A seemingly normal clock hangs on the wall, a silent observer of the unfolding events. The clock's hands begin to jump forward, time distorting in the confined space. An unsettling anomaly unfolds as the steady march of time becomes erratic and unpredictable. The ordinary classroom transforms into a nexus of temporal distortion, hinting at unseen forces. Inside the classroom, a palpable tension fills the air. An unseen force tightens, constricting his chest. His breath hitches, a silent struggle against the mounting pressure. The room seems to shrink, the air growing heavy with unspoken emotions. A subtle shift in his posture betrays the internal turmoil within. Jiles hesitates, his steps faltering as he pauses in the middle of the bustling classroom. A flicker of doubt crosses his face, a silent struggle playing out in his eyes. He shifts direction, a new course set with a subtle adjustment of his shoulders. The change is slight, almost imperceptible, but it speaks volumes of his inner conflict. A deliberate decision solidifies in his gaze, replacing uncertainty with firm resolve. His posture straightens, each movement now imbued with newfound purpose. Silence descends upon the spare room, the air thick with anticipation. The clock's ticking fades into an echo, each second stretching into an eternity. Dust motes hang suspended in the air, frozen in time. The world outside blurs, losing focus as the room becomes a solitary universe. Every shadow deepens, every object takes on a heightened significance. Silence descends, thick and heavy, stifling all sound. The world seems poised, expectant, in a moment of profound stillness. A strange pressure mounts, an invisible weight bearing down. The air crackles with unseen energy, a palpable tension. An unnerving sensation of being watched intensifies, every nerve on edge. Eyes unseen seem to pierce the veil. It felt like the world had leaned in to watch. Giles's voice echoes, a haunting whisper in the void. The stillness stretches, an unbearable anticipation. The weight of expectation threatens to crush. Every breath is held, every heartbeat amplified. The world holds its breath, waiting for a sign. Sunlight streams into the kitchen as Jiles enters. The scent of coffee hangs in the air, promising a new day. Jiles pauses, taking in the quiet domesticity. A sense of calm washes over him in the morning light. The spare room is silent, save for the rhythmic ticking of a clock, each beat precise and unwavering. The clock's hands sweep across the face, marking time with cold indifference. Each second marches forward, an inexorable measure of moments passing. The steady tick-tock fills the void, a stark reminder of time's relentless flow. The room holds its breath, the clock's rhythm, the only pulse in the stillness. In the quiet, each tick amplifies, echoing through the otherwise empty space. Dusty light filters into the spare room, illuminating forgotten corners. Jiles enters the room, a sense of curiosity etched on his face. He approaches an old wooden frame, its surface worn and aged. With a tender touch, Jiles runs his fingers along the frame. A silent story unfolds as he connects with the artifact. In an echoing, undefined space, Jiles stands, a lone figure silhouetted against an unseen light, tension hanging heavy. The air crackles with unspoken questions as Jiles confronts the unknown, his stance rigid with anticipation. His voice, a stark whisper in the vast emptiness, breaks the silence with a single, challenging query. "So that's it?" Jiles asks, his words laced with disbelief and a hint of defiance. The question hangs unanswered, leaving Jiles suspended between revelation and the daunting unknown. Dust motes swirl, illuminated by a weak light that barely penetrates the grimy window. The spare room is stark, almost ghostly in its emptiness. A rickety table stands alone, the only object in the desolate space. Perched precariously on the table, a lone clock marks the passage of time. The clock ticks rhythmically, a stark contrast to the room's silence. Its hands sweep forward, indifferent to the barren scene it oversees. A single, stark light pierces through the all-consuming darkness, revealing an unknown space. The air is thick, heavy with unspoken words and unseen presences. Silence blankets the scene, amplifying the weight of the surrounding mystery. A voice echoes from the void, resonating with untold stories. Jiles, VO, speaks. It didn't need to, his words hanging in the air. The light flickers, casting long, dancing shadows that hint at hidden truths. Sunlight streams into the spare room, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. The room feels strangely lighter, the absence of the clock creating a void. Empty walls echo with unspoken stories, the silence amplifying the change. A faint outline remains on the wall, a ghostly reminder of what once was. The room breathes, reborn in the quiet aftermath of a significant departure. A sense of anticipation lingers, suggesting new beginnings in the altered space. Dust motes swirl in a beam of light, illuminating an unknown space lost to time. A wall's faint outline hints at forgotten boundaries in the all-encompassing gloom. An echoing voice, Jiles, VO, breaks the silence. Eventually, the clock was moved. The voice continues, a haunting reminder of a past erased. No one remembered when. A montage begins, a whirlwind of moments offering glimpses into Jiles' life. A quick shot shows Jiles laughing, a rare moment of unburdened joy. A contrasting scene, Jiles in shadows, his face etched with worry. Another flash, Jiles working, the determination lining his face. Quick glimpses of various locations blur together, each telling a story. The montage intensifies, showing the chaotic rhythm of Jiles' world. The scene unfolds in an undefined space, where reality blurs at the edges. Subtle shifts in light and sound hint at a distorted sense of time. The air hangs heavy, pregnant with unspoken anticipation. Jiles, VO. I still notice time differently now. Under the open sky, Jiles finds solace on a park bench, the warmth of the sun kissing his face. Laughter echoes as children play, their carefree spirits painting a vivid scene before his eyes. He watches, a gentle smile gracing his lips, as if absorbing the pure, unadulterated joy of the moment. Time seems to slow, each second a precious gift of peace and simple beauty in the heart of the park. A single beam of light pierces the gloom, illuminating dust motes. The air dances with particles, each one a tiny beacon in the darkness. Jiles, VO. How some moments vanished without meaning. Jiles, VO. While others stayed heavy and bright, long after they passed. Soft light spills across Giles' room, casting a warm glow on the packed bookshelves that line the wall. An armchair sits invitingly in the corner, promising comfort and solace. Lost in thought, I sit on the edge of the bed, a gentle smile playing on my lips, reflecting on the day's events. A sense of peace settles over me. Contentment washes over me. A quiet moment of reflection in the tranquil bedroom. In the stark expanse of the unknown, a solitary beam of light pierces the gloom. Dust motes dance, swirling in the golden ray. Each tiny particle gleams, suspended in the silent air. A voice echoes, distant yet clear. I learned that time didn't disappear. The light seems to pulse with the weight of those words. A profound understanding dawns in the stillness. Darkness engulfs the scene, an oppressive silence broken only by an unseen presence. An ominous atmosphere thickens, promising unseen threats. From the void, Giles' disembodied voice echoes, cutting through the silence. It responded, Giles' voice whispers, confirming the chilling reality. Sunlight floods into the spare room, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. An empty room awaits, bathed in the warmth of a new day. Shadows stretch and sway gently with the breeze. The window stands as a silent observer. Sunlight streams through the window, creating a bright ambiance. The room is quiet, filled with potential. Sunlight bathes the living room as Giles leans over a textbook, his brow furrowed in deep concentration. He gently guides his younger sister through a complex equation, his voice soft and encouraging. His sister listens attentively, her eyes fixed on the page, occasionally asking questions. Giles nods encouragingly, praising her efforts with a warm smile. He offers further explanations, patiently unraveling the mysteries of the textbook. At the school entrance, the atmosphere tenses. Giles visibly squirms and plants his feet. He defiantly puts himself between a bully and their classmate. A silent challenge hangs heavy in the air. In the hushed library, Giles is a silhouette against the towering stacks, the desk lamp casting a soft glow on his intense focus. He pores over ancient texts, his fingers tracing the faded words as he quietly immerses himself in his solitary research. The night deepens beyond the window, but time is forgotten as Giles delves further into the mysteries held within the pages. Lost in the world of his chosen topic, he's oblivious to everything but the quest for knowledge. Sunlight bathes Giles' room as he sits on the bed's edge, guitar in hand, a picture of youthful concentration. His fingers dance nimbly across the fretboard, a complex chord progression taking shape under his touch. A furrowed brow betrays his intense focus, each note a step in his determined pursuit of mastery. The guitar becomes an extension of his will, each chord resonating with his ambition. He pauses, listening intently, ensuring each note aligns with the melody in his mind. Satisfaction flickers across his face as the music flows, a testament to his dedication. Jiles wanders through the dense woods, his gaze sweeping across the trees. Searching for something unseen, he pauses, inhaling deeply, the earthy scent of the forest filling his lungs with invigorating freshness. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves, creating a symphony of whispers that dances through the ancient trees. Sunlight dapples through the canopy, painting shifting patterns on the forest floor. A subtle smile graces Giles's lips as he acknowledges the serene beauty enveloping him. He is completely immersed in nature's quiet grandeur, a peaceful pause in his journey. In the warm kitchen light, Giles stands at the stove, a wooden spoon his wand, stirring a bubbling potion of scent. Steam rises, a fragrant veil of herbs and vegetables, wrapping Giles in a comforting embrace. His movements are slow, deliberate, each stir a meditation, a dance of creation. Contentment etches lines around his eyes as he savors the simple act of nourishing. The kitchen breathes with life, a sanctuary of warmth and culinary magic, under Giles' gentle command. Bathed in sunlight, Giles stands before his easel, lost in the vibrant chaos of creation. His brush dances with passion, each stroke a bold expression of the emotions swirling within. Colors explode onto the canvas, a whirlwind of feeling taking shape under his hand. The art class fades away as Giles pours his soul into the painting, oblivious to all else. Under the warm sun, Giles dribbles, his movements poetry in motion as he weaves through friends. Laughter bursts from him, a pure, unfiltered sound of joy as he steals the ball. With focused energy, Giles leaps, the ball arcing towards the hoop, a perfect jump shot. The satisfying swish echoes as the ball cleanly passes through the net. His friends erupt in cheers, their voices a chorus of admiration and camaraderie. Bathed in sunlight, their faces glow with shared joy and friendly competition. Sunlight floods the volunteer center as Giles sorts clothes, his warm smile lighting up the room. The center hums with purposeful activity, a sanctuary amidst organized chaos. Dust motes dance in the sunlit air, each carrying stories of giving and receiving. Giles folds a worn coat, his gentle hands a testament to endless compassion. The quiet dedication in the air, a beacon of hope for those in need. In the opulent concert hall, Giles sits motionless, eyes shut, surrendering to the symphony. Bathed in ethereal light, his face is a canvas of raw emotion, each note painting a vivid story. The music swells, engulfing him in a torrent of sound, a poignant escape from reality. He is adrift in a sea of melody, utterly consumed, every sense heightened by the immersive experience. Sunlight floods the bustling coffee shop, steam swirling from mugs, as Giles leans in, his expression intense. "I have these dreams, see? Big dreams," Giles confesses, his eyes reflecting a burning ambition. His friend leans forward, a gentle invitation in his gaze. "Tell me about them." Giles hesitates, searching for the right words. "Well, it is not easy to explain. I want to change the world, or at least my little corner of it. I want to make a difference." Golden sunlight bathes the beach as Giles watches the sunset, the sky ablaze with fiery hues, reflecting in the calm ocean. Giles stands silhouetted against the vibrant horizon. A gentle breeze whispers through the swaying palm trees. Giles, filled with gratitude, embraces the world's beauty. In the quiet of his room, Giles sits hunched over his desk, the lamplight casting sharp shadows across his face. His brow is furrowed in concentration as he writes in his journal, each stroke capturing his innermost thoughts. The pen scratches softly against the paper, a delicate sound in the stillness of the night. He pauses, his gaze lost in reflection, as he contemplates the experiences and lessons etched into his memory. The journal becomes a mirror reflecting his soul, each entry a step on his journey of self-discovery. Inside Giles's home, warm sunlight streams through the windows, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. Giles smiles softly, his eyes reflecting a newfound sense of presence and engagement in his everyday life. A peaceful quiet envelops the room. He breathes deeply, embracing the moment with a sense of calm contentment. The ordinary objects around him seem to glow with a special significance. Giles ambles down the sun-drenched street, his gaze sweeping over the vibrant cityscape. His eyes soften as he notices the subtle beauty around him. A quiet observer in the urban symphony, a slight, contented smile graces his lips, a silent acknowledgement of life's simple pleasures. He continues his walk, a solitary figure embracing the ordinary moments with profound appreciation. Inside Giles's home, he gazes out into the tranquil night, a gentle smile playing on his lips. The quiet scene reflects a profound sense of peace settling over Jiles. Contentment fills the room as Jiles absorbs the night's serenity. The window frames Jiles, silhouetted against the soft glow of the night. In the dim of his bedroom, Jiles closes his eyes, his face softening with a gentle smile. Gratitude washes over him, a silent thank you for the day's simple joys. A hopeful anticipation for the future flickers in his serene expression. The promise of tomorrow paints a peaceful smile on Giles's lips as he drifts off. Time drifts as Jiles, now etched with years, settles onto the familiar park bench, sunlight dappling through the leaves. His eyes, holding stories of seasons past, watch children play, their laughter echoing softly in the air. A subtle, knowing smile graces his lips, a silent acknowledgement of life's beautiful, fleeting moments. Birds flutter around, their songs weaving through the tapestry of the day, a symphony of nature's rhythm. He closes his eyes briefly, absorbing the warmth of the sun, a peaceful resignation settling over him. The park, unchanged yet ever-changing, cradles Jiles in its embrace, a silent witness to his enduring spirit.